of freedom buried in the ground. Mother Earth will swallow you. Lay your body down. Find the cost of freedom buried in the ground. Mother Earth will swallow you. Lay your body down. Find the Cost of Freedom from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I thought it only appropriate on this Memorial Day weekend to do a do-over of this song that I did 3 years ago on Memorial Day. Back then I did it in double drop D because that was very popular tuning on my channel at the time. And now we're actually dropping it a whole step down to double dropped C, and that was what the original was done in. It's actually even a little bit flatter than that. I guess they slowed the recording down a little bit. But double drop C is from string 6 to string 1, C. So you've dropped your 6th string from an E pitch down to a C. You've dropped it 2 whole steps. And if you hit the string hard, it will buzz. It's just very low tension at this point. But anyway, that's a C. String 5, G. String 4, again C. Excuse me. String 3, F. String 2, A. String 1, C. So as I mentioned, the intervals between the notes are the same as double drop D, just everything's a whole step lower. And it just gives the guitar kind of a haunting sound when you play this D modal shape, which is the first chord in the song. So let's talk about the chords now. So this D is like the D that you're familiar with, except for we're not fretting anything on the first string. So I've got my index finger on string 3, fret 2, ring finger on string 2, fret 3. And we're letting all 6 strings ring out. So that's the first chord. Actually, when I start the song, I'm only playing 4 strings. And we eventually get into using all 6 strings to play that D shape. Okay, second chord is a D7, very similar, and it's kind of the same logic, follows the same logic. We're playing 2/3 of a D7 shape from standard tuning. So I've got my middle finger on string 3, fret 2, and index finger on string 2, fret 1. Okay, so the D, the D7. Okay, the next chord, the third chord, is an F6. And you're familiar with the shape. It's like a baby F without any fretting on string 1. It's also, if we were in standard tuning, this would be an F major 7th. But since string 1 is tuned down a whole step, that makes it a F6 shape, considering the tuning. But I've got my ring finger on string 4, fret 3, middle finger on string 3, fret 2, and index finger on string 2, fret 1. And there's your sound. 4-string chord. Okay, the final chord in the song is a very familiar chord. It's a C, and it's a 5-string chord. We're not playing string 6, we're not playing the fattest string. We are letting string 1 ring out to maintain that droning string 1, as you notice in each chord. So if we start with the D, we go to the D7th, we go to the F6, and we go to the C. The one constant is that droning first string. a very late 60s, early 70s Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young sort of a thing. So that's the sequence of the chords. D, D7, F6, to a C, back to F6, back to the C, and then closing out with the D. And that's really how I do the vocals in the song. D, find the D7th cost, F6 of free, C, down, back to the F6, buried, back to the C, in the, back to the D, ground. Again, D, mother, D7th earth, will F6 swallow you, F6, lay your C body, D, down. So that was the easy part. That was the vocal part, at least the way I play it. So in order to make the song sound somewhat authentic, I've used a boom chukka 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 sort of a strum pattern. It's modified a little bit. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff right here, but know that you can stop and come back to this point and kind of process it one chunk at a time. But the first two kind of progressions in the song are a strum through the 4 strings of the chord. So on the D it's boom, chukka, chukka, chukka. And then you go to the D7th, same thing, 4 strings, boom, chukka, chukka, chukka. Okay, so that is the first sequence, and that's the easiest part. D, D7. Now when we get to the F6, we just pluck the bass note of that F6 chord and we do a down up, boom, chukka, and then we hammer on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So bass note, chukka, hammer, chukka, and then we go to the G note, the open 3rd string note of the C shape. So again, from the F, and a chukka on that C chord. So again, from the F, boom, hammer, open 3rd string, chukka, and then here's the fun part. Using your C chord, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, you pluck that and then pull the middle finger off and pluck the open 4th string and then hit the fretted note on the 3rd fret of the 5th string and then back to your D chord, open 4th string of your D chord. And then we do a open 5th, fretted on the 3rd fret of the 5th, open 4th, and then an open 6th. A lot of stuff right there, a lot of chunks, but we'll go through it again. So from the top, D, let's see, we strum through all 4. D, D7th, bass note, hammer, open 3rd string, chukka, 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 back to the F, hammer, open 3rd string, chukka. You can see how easy it is to miss notes. And that is kind of authentically how Neil Young plays. If you listen to the original, he's missing notes all over the place, but as long as you hit an adjacent note, it still sounds good. I will say Stephen Stills is a much more accurate guitar player than Neil is, like a polished version of me. He's a little bit rough. Okay, so anyway, let's just go through it from the top. I'll play it slowly. And hopefully if you run this back and practice it, you'll kind of see how all the parts fit together. So here we go from the top. D, D, D7, F6, hammer, open third, C, F6, hammer to the C, again from the top. And that is it. A lot of stuff packed into a little space, but if you play along with the original, that pattern goes on for, I don't know, like many, many measures as Stephen Stills takes his lead. You know, it probably goes through 6 or 8 iterations until you get to both verses of the vocals, which are the same. It's just that the last one is a cappella, and of course with the beautiful multi-part harmonies. So anyway, that is Find the Cost of Freedom, the redo, the more authentic version in double drop C. Hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I look forward to sending you another lesson very soon. Until then, adios, my friends.